guts, charisma, speed, marketability.
Joe Goossen, the trainer's trainer, the man who turned journeymen into contenders and shaped champions in the toughest gyms of Southern California. But here's what the boxing world never talks about. Joe has his own list of favorite fighters. And these picks are going to reveal secrets about what this legendary cornerman really values in boxers. Today we're breaking down Joe Goossen's 10 favorite boxers of all time. We're talking about inside stories from the gym, alleged private conversations between trainers, and the fighters who influenced Joe's entire coaching philosophy. From technical wizards to pure brawlers, this list shows what makes a fighter special in Goossen's eyes. Some of these selections will surprise even hardcore boxing fans. The drama, the technique, the heart, it's all here. Number 6 is going to make you rethink everything you know about modern boxing. And the number 1 spot? Absolutely nobody predicted this. Let's break it down. 10. Michael Nunn. Michael Nunn starts our countdown at number 10, and this pick shows Joe's love for pure boxing ability. Nunn was silk in the ring, a middleweight magician whose footwork and timing made experienced fighters look helpless and confused. Nunn made boxing look like ballet, Joe allegedly mentioned to fellow trainers. Every movement had purpose, nothing wasted. What fascinated Joe was Nunn's ability to control distance perfectly, staying just out of range while landing punches that opponents never saw coming until it was too late. The technical mastery Nunn displayed influenced how Joe taught defensive positioning to his own stable of fighters. Joe would show Nunn footage and say, "This is textbook," a gym member supposedly recalled. He loved how Michael stayed relaxed under pressure. What made Nunn special was his complete dominance before personal problems derailed everything. Michael had all the tools to rule for a decade, Joe reportedly stated. That makes it even more tragic watching what happened to his career and life outside the ring. 9. Marvin Hagler. Marvelous. Marvin Hagler enters at number 9, and Joe's admiration for this warrior runs deep. Hagler represented everything Joe valued: dedication, toughness, and the willingness to face any challenge without making excuses about money or politics. Marvin lived in the gym, Joe allegedly told students. That's why nobody could break him down over 12 rounds. Hitting ability, and how he adjusted tactics mid-fight, showing intelligence that separated champions from ordinary fighters. The destruction of Tommy Hearns particularly stuck with Joe. That Joe say. Marvin showed what happens when skill meets bad intentions. The relentless pressure Hagler applied became something Joe emphasized when training aggressive fighters. Hagler's bald head and intimidating presence created psychological edges before exchanges even started. "Marvin looked like he'd kill you," Joe reportedly commented. But it wasn't an act. He really had that darkness inside him that made opponents hesitate and second-guess their game plans. 8. Pernell Whitaker. Sweet Pea Whitaker lands at number 8, and Joe's appreciation for defensive genius shows clearly with this selection. Whitaker was untouchable at his peak, making world-class fighters miss so badly they looked amateur and frustrated beyond belief. Pernell's shoulder roll was art, Joe allegedly explained to trainees. He'd slip punches by millimeters and counter before you recovered. What amazed Joe was Whitaker's ability to showboat and clown opponents while staying completely defensively responsible and never putting himself in danger. The De La Hoya fight controversy fascinated Joe from a technical standpoint. Sweet Pea clearly won that fight, Joe supposedly told other trainers. Politics robbed him, but anyone with eyes saw who controlled every moment. That injustice made Joe respect Whitaker's grace in handling the robbery. Joe particularly loved teaching Whitaker's footwork patterns. His angles created openings that weren't there before, an assistant allegedly mentioned. Joe broke down Sweet Pea's movement frame by frame to show fighters how positioning beats power every single time in this sport. 7. Julio Cesar Chavez. Julio Cesar Chavez crashes into number 7, and Joe's respect for the Mexican fighting spirit comes through loud and clear. Chavez was the relentless machine who broke opponents physically and mentally through constant pressure that never gave them breathing room. Julio's body attack was surgical, Joe allegedly stated at seminars. He'd destroy your ribs until you dropped your hands, then finish you upstairs. What impressed Joe was Chavez's stamina and conditioning that allowed him to maintain a murderous pace for 12 rounds without slowing down noticeably. The undefeated streak of nearly 90 fights showed consistency that modern boxers can't match. Chavez fought everybody and never looked for easy nights, Joe supposedly mentioned. That old-school mentality that's completely gone from today's era of protected prospects and careful matchmaking. 6. Ricardo Lopez. Ricardo Lopez slides into number 6, and this pick surprises casual fans who never watched the Little Mexican Maestro. Lopez retired undefeated at 51-0-1, dominating the lower weight classes with technical brilliance that few people outside hardcore circles truly appreciated. Finito was perfection at 108 pounds, Joe allegedly told boxing writers. He could do everything: box, bang, move, whatever the fight required. What fascinated Joe was Lopez's ability to make adjustments between rounds, showing fight IQ that separated him from athletic fighters with limited thinking. The fact that Lopez never got mainstream recognition bothered Joe deeply. America ignored him because he was small, a source supposedly heard Joe complain. But pound for pound, Ricardo belonged in conversations with anyone from any era or division in boxing history. Joe particularly respected Lopez's professionalism and longevity. Finito defended his title over 20 times, Joe reportedly stated. He stayed hungry and focused when most champions got lazy or distracted by fame and money that ruins discipline and commitment to the craft. 5. Gabriel Ruelas. Gabriel Ruelas bursts into the top 5, and this selection shows Joe's personal connection to fighters he actually trained. Ruelas was Joe's warrior, the action fighter who gave fans wars every time he stepped through the ropes and never disappointed the audience. Gabriel had the heart of 10 men, Joe allegedly said repeatedly. He'd fight through hell and never complain about injuries or pain. The relationship between them went beyond typical trainer-fighter dynamics. They were family who shared triumphs and tragedies together. The Jimmy Garcia tragedy haunted both men forever. That fight changed Gabriel, people close to Joe supposedly revealed. Winning but causing someone's death destroys part of his soul. Joe stood by Ruelas through the darkest period, showing loyalty that defined their bond. What made Ruelas special was his Mexican style, combined with Joe's technical adjustments. Gabriel listened and learned, Joe reportedly mentioned. He took my instructions and mixed them with his natural aggression to create something special and entertaining for fans who appreciated real fighting spirit and courage. 4. Diego Corrales. Diego Corrales explodes into number 4, and Joe's love for this troubled warrior was evident to everyone around the gym. Corrales was the tall lightweight with power and skills, but personal demons constantly threatened to derail the incredible talent everyone witnessed. Diego was special, Joe allegedly told people with sadness in his voice, but he couldn't escape his own worst enemy, himself. The roller coaster relationship between trainer and fighter featured brilliant highs and crushing lows that tested Joe's patience and loyalty repeatedly. The Castillo trilogy defined Corrales' legacy and Joe's corner work. That 10th round comeback in the first fight was pure magic, sources claim Joe said. Diego showed championship guts that night, proving he belonged among the greats despite all his personal struggles and legal troubles. What complicated things was Corrales' inability to stay disciplined outside the ring. Joe tried saving Diego from himself, an insider allegedly revealed, but addiction and bad decisions kept pulling him back into darkness. The tragic motorcycle death devastated Joe, who lost a fighter he considered like a son despite everything. 3. Mike Tyson Iron. Mike Tyson storms into number 3.
The fuck with me. You can't last 2 minutes in my world, bitch. Look at you scared now, you hoe. Scared like a little white pussy.
And Joe's fascination with peak Tyson shows his appreciation for destructive power combined with technical fundamentals. Tyson under Cus D'Amato was a perfectly built machine designed to hurt people quickly and efficiently. Young Tyson was terrifying, Joe allegedly told students. The speed, the power, the head movement, everything worked together perfectly. What impressed Joe was Tyson's peekaboo style and how he closed distance against taller fighters, making his size disadvantage completely irrelevant. Joe used Tyson footage constantly when teaching combination punching. "Watch how Mike throws hooks off uppercuts," a fighter allegedly heard Joe explain. "That's championship-level mechanics that most trainers can't teach because they don't understand the subtle weight transfers and timing involved in executing those devastating sequences properly." 2. Salvador Sanchez. Salvador Sanchez soars into number 2, and this pick reveals Joe's deep respect for complete fighters who excelled at everything. Sanchez was the Mexican featherweight who had it all: boxing ability, punching power, ring intelligence, and championship composure beyond his years. Salvador was perfect, Joe allegedly stated to fellow trainers. At 23 years old, he fought like a 10-year veteran. What amazed Joe was Sanchez's maturity and calmness under fire, never panicking when opponents mounted challenges or landed clean shots. The tragic death robbed boxing of potential greatness. "Salvador was just entering his prime," Joe reportedly said with genuine sadness. "We'll never know how far he could have gone, but his existing resume already puts him among the featherweight legends who dominated the division during their championship reigns. Uno, Roberto Duran, Manos de Piedra, Joe's number 1, and this choice makes perfect sense for a trainer who valued complete fighters with killer instincts. Duran was the Panamanian assassin who terrorized multiple divisions and never lost his fighting spirit despite age and wars. Roberto is the best I ever saw, Joe allegedly stated without hesitation. Lightweight Duran was untouchable, the perfect blend of skill, power, and meanness. What separated Duran in Joe's mind was the mentality. He genuinely wanted to hurt opponents, not just beat them on scorecards. The 4-division success showed Duran's adaptability and ring genius. Roberto kept winning against bigger men through pure intelligence, Joe supposedly told People. His understanding of distance, timing, and psychology was PhD level compared to other fighters who relied on physical advantages alone. What sealed Duran at number 1 was the longevity and consistency. Roberto fought world-class competition for 3 decades, an associate allegedly heard Joe say. That's unprecedented and will never happen again in modern boxing with the way fighters are protected and developed today. That's Joe Goossen's 10 favorite boxers, from technical wizards to pure warriors. Which pick surprised you most? Drop comments below, smash that like button, and subscribe for more boxing content. See you next time.